Welcome to my fourth episode, and my today's guest is Tobias. Tobias has built a seven-figure e-commerce business. In this interview, he will tell us how he built his business and where he gets his customer. But first, Tobias, thank you. Thank you for your time. I'm happy to have you in this episode. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, no worries. Happy to be here. As you said, my name's Toby. I wouldn't say I built this business. I would say the business built itself and I was along for the ride. If I would have known everything that I would have to do before I would have started, I would have probably never started. This is something I always say. But yeah, we are hang.com. We hang.com. No matter what domain you choose, you'll reach the same website. And it started with a hammock, an ultralight travel hammock, and then it basically ballooned in this whole outdoor and camping gear online shop where we offer mostly for the German-speaking market still hammocks, backpacks, blankets, and everything you may need to have a comfy life outdoors.
Okay, thank you. You just said if you knew, you wouldn't have started this business. Why?
Turns out there's a lot that comes with a business that you do not know about when you start the business and you think, oh, let me do this online shop and it's all going to be hunky-dory glory and all I'm going to do is like do my little landing page because that's what I enjoy doing. And then suddenly you're knee deep into some management book on how to lead people. And a few weeks later, you're in deep discussions with the German equivalent of the IRS because apparently there's a payment that had to be done, but nobody told you about it. And suddenly the customs and import duty fee is coming along and somebody's calling you because your stock is held in a warehouse. And now you have to pay for it. And all those things nobody tells you about in the beginning. So no matter if you do a course, if you don't do a course, you will never know anything. And you just got to figure it out day by day. So I feel like business in general is figuring out a lot more and problem solving a lot more than people give it credit for.
Okay. And so it means if you will start a new business today, it will not be e-commerce.
It probably would be e-commerce. And I have started new businesses. I did start businesses in the cybersecurity area. The only reasons why it wouldn't be e-commerce is because I've been doing e-commerce for the past 15 years. That's the only reason. I would still recommend to people to do e-commerce because it's a fun business. It encompasses a lot of things and you can learn a lot of things and you don't have to sit in an office all day, all year round. For me personally, I've done it for 15 years, so I have a few interests in other fields and cybersecurity is one of these interests. So this is one of the reasons why I started businesses in other fields as well, but my main business is still up and running.
How long does it took until you had your first customer and how did you get the first customer?
The first customer probably it did happen the same day when I started the business. It's been quite a few more ever since, but I remember that I had like the first stock on hand and I started the website and I was wondering on how to like create like a giveaway, a launch, on how to structure a launch or anything. I think I even did a Reddit post at the time. I still need to look into it. And people told me basically like if you didn't plan a launch before starting, then you did everything wrong. So I basically did like a little sweepstake giveaway. And then one of my best friends, I remember he bought one of my products the first day I launched. And us being students, it was quite a high price point. And I was like, dude, you could have just asked and I would have given you one. But he actually bought one from me. So I still think this is a really nice gesture of friendship. And if you're supporting your friends, just head over to their shop and buy something from them and show them that you're like a fan of what they're doing.
You have a lot of followers on TikTok. Did you get the follower after you launched your business or did they exist before? And did it help your business?
Yes, the followers are completely unrelated. They're in no way related to my business, and I got them way later in life. My main passion always and forever always probably will be and has been marketing. So I was always interested in how to basically tell people about something that you stand behind and what are the different ways of informing a lot of people at the same time about something that you would like to inform them about. And this applies to other things. So I always said that with my company Hang, I created my own internship and Hang was the vehicle for me to learn all things marketing. So if I had an idea and I had a boss who wouldn't let me do it, I was pretty annoyed. So having my own business allowed me to basically try everything without anybody telling me no, especially marketing wise. And regarding the followers, I feel like social media is just another way of like reaching an audience and basically trying to reach a lot of people. And since I wasn't really prominent and visible in my business, I was always in the back. I figured I have to learn all the platforms anyway, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, when they arose. So I just hopped on there and like had a few theses and tried a few things and see if I could build up a channel as well. And for some reason it worked. So still just my passion in marketing, but there's no connection to my business whatsoever. And I never talk about my business on my social media channels either. up until now. So we get clients in completely different ways.
How do you get the clients? Do you do paid ads, or if yes, on which platform?
Yeah. I wish I could give an easy answer. All those tracking tools, everything says something different. But it is a combination, and it's been a combination of the past 14 years of hard work. So we started out renting hammocks to festivals. We then bought different structures to put in 12 hammocks and then rented them to festivals. We then partnered with a company who helped us rent them to festivals. And this gave us a big presence at German or German speaking music festivals. So this is one way that helped us do some branding and get the brand known offline. People basically had to try it before they had to know about it. And then we started with the PPC stuff. So Facebook was big for a while. We're still doing Google Ads, and everything PPC has been working consistently for us, but along with the branding and building up a brand image and being there in person. And by now, I feel like after 12 years, there's a big part, up to 20% of organic growth, because we've sold so many products and people still like them that they basically get recommended to like their friends and families every summer. It's a very seasonal business selling hammocks. There are not many hammocks sold in January. So we can see like when the temperature gradually raises, like that we have a lot of friends and family coming in using the friends and family code. And basically that's how we know they got recommendations by somebody else. This is also something I would recommend to anybody starting out. Set up a way that everything can be tracked. So, for example, give out different discount codes. And then if you see somebody using that discount code, you know that they probably came from a recommendation. If you do a print ad, then use a different URL just for the print, and then do a referrer tracking to see whoever came in from like a printed magazine ad. Everything, especially all those offline options. If you're at an event, give out flyers with a discount code and make the discount code specific to each event. Like all those little tracking issues will help you immensely in the end, because you need to understand where people convert from in order to like put the most effort in there.
Okay. Do you use a certain software for this tracking, or is it possible out of the box with the existing shop systems like Shopify?
I feel like everybody selling you like an expensive solution for tracking is probably selling you snake oil, because tracking mostly applies to logic and can be done in many different ways. And you do not need like a fully fledged, deep foundational API conversion server tracking software to this. It's fairly easy. If you use Shopware, they have discount codes. Create a discount code called event. If you use Google Analytics, look into UTM codes and put them on every URL you put out there. If you don't use anything, just get 4 different domains and put them in different places. Like basically just think about the source, where people come from, how you name the source, and how you recognize the source in whatever solution you are using. And this doesn't need to be like anything that costs you like a few $1,000 a month.
And which solution do you use for Hang.com?
We just use a bunch of different ones. So we do not have one software. We use Shopify as a shop system. So basically we use a lot of discount codes in there. Then we used all the different basic free analytics tools that you have out there. So UTM tracking is a big one. Never put a link out without any UTM parameter. We use a few different domains to see where people come from. All those things that are out there for basic tracking purposes we use. We have never had a lot of money in the beginning. We never had investment. We never had VC funding. So everything was bootstrapped from the start. And I feel like this is something that I would give along to young founders as well. You do not need money to start. In fact, it may be better if you do not have money, because it forces you to like become creative, use a free solution, get into the technical aspects and learn platforms, instead of just throwing money at like expensive tools that basically may not help you in the end. So let's try to bootstrap things.
How about the product and the shipment? Do you take off it yourself, or is it a service
I did for a long time. And then I had a real job at the time as well. So I came back home in the evening and then I had to like ship packages and do packages. But turns out that this can become quite exhausting, having a job and then in the evening like run your own fulfillment center as well. So at some point I learned about 3PLs and fulfillment centers at the time. I feel like e-commerce courses and stuff weren't as common at the time. So basically it was a lot of Reddit posts and like reading articles and learning things by myself. And then suddenly at some point I found that there is a word for it. And then as soon as I could Google the word, things became really easy. So as soon as I like learned about the word fulfillment center, which is the German equivalent to a 3PL or 3PL, things became immensely easier. I was able to basically, instead of like provider who is sending packages, just enter 3PL and I see a list of companies. And then we started talking to a few of them, found a really small and good one that were like accommodating and said like, we don't need like a minimum shipment from you whatsoever. If you send one package a month, that's fine. Just come over and try. So we went there and this is how we started with the 3PL provider. And over the past 8 years, we grew with them. So we became their biggest client at some point, and they had to like relocate because of us. And basically, was good that we've taken a chance on each other at the time.
Where do you produce the products, in Germany or somewhere else?
Yes, we produce in Asia and we import, and then we have a bunch of products that have been produced in Germany as well, and we do some assembly here as well. So it's quite a mixture of different factories and ways of producing that we combine, and then basically everything is being stored in our own warehouse in Leipzig and being shipped from there.
Products are very suitable for social media. Do you do some kind of influencer marketing?
Yes, me basically having this online presence, I became kind of an influencer myself, and then I played along on both sides. So I have some insights and some ways that we have been able to use ourselves, but I've never been a big fan of influencer marketing because it's hard to scale, or it has a personal issue, and I'm a fan of systems. So what has worked for us was basically being present on social media, and we've done so a lot more in the past. We've scaled back. We had our own people in-house. Basically, each one was responsible for one channel and then only producing content for that one channel. The landscape there has changed a bit in the past as well. So basically nowadays, all you have to do, which is what I'm always saying, is create one vertical video and then syndicate it over all the platforms. As long as those platforms are competing with each other, they are going to reward you with views. And all you need is one vertical video. The format is the same for all of them. In the past, you had to like think about formats and then do like a widescreen YouTube format. And so it was easier for us to have a dedicated person for each channel. And nowadays, just get a good creator, get a good strategy in-house, and then syndicate the hell out of it. Do not create AI slop and do not upload a bunch of shitty videos to any platform. This is not helping anyone. People are really good at spotting authenticity. So try to like stick to it.
Which platform works best?
Depends, man.
For you in this case?
That really depends. Depends on what the ultimate goal is as well. Because you have to like dedicate or like devise between different goals. So we are always looking at the branding perspective. We want to convey an image, and this is not easily done. So you have like from a branding perspective, it's what you like basically convey on the different level. Except for saying like buy one of our hammocks, it's like where do you stand, how you prove yourself, what kind of language do you use? And for these, I feel like it's everything that is conveyed in the like second layer of a video. So branding works on all channels if you have to think of it, but branding is really good on TikTok, and TikTok is really good for reach as well, because the old adagio of like you need to have followers to like reach an audience, that's Instagram thinking, and it doesn't apply to TikTok or like YouTube Shorts for that matter. So always try to be aware of branding. And for us, the channel that is performing best actually is word of mouth. After 12 years, it is the strongest channel with the best margins. But if we were to like reach new clients in summer, I would still recommend probably Meta Marketing, Facebook and Instagram. They are the biggest platforms. If you dial your ads in well, it can be a good channel, but it's been harder and harder.
How many people are working with you on this business?
Well, that also depends. Depends on how you count helping and working. We have a few people putting in a few hours, and we have a few people putting in a lot of hours. And then we have all those hero folks at the 3PL packing and shipping for us. So we always tend to say it's in between 2 to 18 people working for the company, depending on how you count. But I would say it's a core team of 5 people right now, consisting of freelancers and e-commerce operators. We are mostly doing marketing and scaling this up to the summer. And then we have a few in the background doing like the R&D, the importing, and then basically the back office, which takes up most of the time. It's mostly accounting and paying bills.
Okay, thank you. Tell me a little bit about your numbers. So we have spoken a little about the business, about the team, then how much revenue do you generate in 1 year?
Yes. So COVID was really kind to us. I know it wasn't kind to anyone, and it was a really bad time, but we have been quite lucky in the aspect that we've been at the intersection of having like a fully stocked warehouse, a product that people desired, and Facebook ads that were performing well at the time. So we scaled mostly during COVID, and this was also when we basically had multi-millions in revenue per year. I had a good part of those over a few months in summer as well. We scaled up to 5,000% within a few months, which was crazy regarding the processes, but which was interesting to see how good the processes were set up so they were able to scale efficiently. So if you have like, I don't know, like 50 products returned each month, it may work quite well. But if it's suddenly like 2000 within the next month, processes need to hold up well. So if you're still relying on email and refunds and manually, it doesn't work. But we had good tools at the time already. So this was pretty smooth. We just had to hire a few more people, which we also have good tools for. And so this all worked out. Number wise, we did something very interesting over the past 3 years, which is we scaled back completely. So due to the fact that we have mostly word of mouth at this point and organic reach, I took the decision to turn off all ads for a while, which basically lowered our revenue substantially, but upped our profit margins substantially as well. So we are getting way less money, but we are keeping more money. And also, it has enabled us to work less, which is always a good thing because I'm not in it for the money. As I always said, I'm in it for like myself dedicated time and being able to work wherever I want, whenever I want. This has always been an important part for the company. And this is why we always have been remote first as well. So it was for the employees, everybody can work whenever they want, wherever they want. We have no office, never had an office. We have no rules on when and where you have to wake up. So I think our ecom operator right now, he's like sitting in Thailand. I'm in the Caribbean. And then my other employee who's doing the marketing, she's German as well, but currently she is traveling in Colombia and Brazil, I think. So everybody's basically anywhere, and sometimes we don't even know, but it works out completely fine. And especially now with the lower revenue, it's less stress and we're all having a good time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the revenue is now lower as has in the past, but still I want to narrow down the numbers a little bit because you said multiple million. So what does it mean? It can be 2 or 10 or 20 or 50. So let's narrow it down a little bit. So
Yes, you're
it's
entirely
5
right.
million or maybe.
It can be 2, it can be 10, it can be 15. You're completely right about this. But does it matter in the end? It doesn't to us because I've always said 2 things when I was studying. I always was keen on having 2 things, and one thing was I always want to have enough money to go out and eat whenever I want. This was my personal idea of luxury, being able to eat out. And the second thing is I always want to have enough time on my hands to go on vacation whenever I want and wherever I want. Not about the money part, but mostly about time. I do not want to sit in an office job where I basically have to apply for my vacation time 2 months in advance. So those are my personal 2 ideas of freedom. And if they are reached with like a 300,000 yearly revenue, completely fine. If they are reached with a 50 million year revenue, completely fine. But from what we've been talking about, you don't need 50 million to reach those 2 goals. So we've made a dedicated point to give away basically the rest that we do not need. So we've always been a big dedicated part of the company has been donations. Within our blog, you can see that we've donated to, I don't know, 18 different companies over the past as well. We have a lot of causes that we are supporting and that we stand behind. And during Black Friday, we kind of like go against the grain a little bit and we donate 100% of our profit during the CBFM, I think it's called. So basically everything we do during this time, we give away because I don't know, like it's not always about higher, faster, stronger, more money, even though like podcasters tend to ask this question a lot and it's interesting to people. But I feel like one thing I would give away with the people would be the word enough is not often said enough in a business context. I feel like a lot of businesses could profit from just like sitting down at some point and say, it might be enough. Like everything after this is more work and doesn't help anybody. So maybe we should like sit down and think this can do. And we've reached this point. So at some point we said we can do with this. We're fine with this. We're going to stop it here.
Okay, thank you. This is great. Which causes did you support or do you support? Can you
Yes.
tell
So it can be any cause. So basically we had a few little courses applying to us, which was really fun. And it was a girl going on I think it's like a university cruise. So basically they have this like sailing ship and she was on there and it was like a school thing and they needed support. So we supported them. Then we have a bunch of like animal shelters as well, but mostly like the things we have been working with in the past is like search and rescue dogs that are looking. So they are like big into the outdoor things as well. And then like a few political causes that are near and dear to my heart. So we are still strong believers in equality for all, and that like people are not entirely made different. So a lot of those issues we are funding is basically in those fields as well. And then nature has been a big cause. For every product that you buy with us, we've always planted 2 trees by our partners, and this is something we continue giving in. And then it's been like German centered environment causes. So we've done a bit with those as well. And you can find all of them in our blog with the receipts there as well. So it's not only us talking about this, it's us actually showing that this is happening.
Okay, thank you. On your website, you mentioned 3 businesses beside vhink.com. Can you tell us a little more about this? What is stoprake.com and setforget.com?
Yeah, it's basically my little projects. Whenever I feel bored with the e-com stuff, I dabble into other things. And as I said, like I like marketing, I like problem solving. And whenever I do not have any problem to solve, I create new problems. And I feel like founding a business is a lot of problem solving. So I try to found a few new ones. Most of my time is dedicated to stop.com. Stop with 4P and then .com is basically a company where we offer cyber security solutions to other companies. And we are mostly centered on phishing awareness trainings. So basically, what a lot of people do not know is companies do not get hacked. In 97% of the time, it's not a company being hacked by some nation state actor or something. It is an employee clicking on a phishing link, giving away credentials. This is 90% of the hacking that is happening out there. And we are smiling because it sounds so simple, but the impact is incredibly high. The amount of money lost by people doing these is why criminals continue to do it. So basically, business email compromise, where you get sent like a fake invoice or something. Some of the numbers we don't even know because companies just pay. And if just a tiny part of this would be put into preventing, companies could save up a lot of money. And this is basically a service we try to offer. So we fish your company. We try to breach your company. We try to be the bad guys. You only pay us if we succeed. So there's a guarantee there as well. You won't lose anything unless we succeed. But to be honest, it's incredibly easy to breach a company. It's incredibly easy to get in there. It's incredibly easy to get credentials. And if we're doing it at the good guys, the other ones are doing it as well. So I feel like a lot of companies could prevent more things happening by like training their people. And to be honest, on the backend part, it's incredibly fun to create like phishing awareness campaigns, and it's incredibly fun to basically be paid to break into a bank with your friends and do it legally. So this is one of the fun parts there as well, which made me create this company. And then the other companies is mostly around these topics as well, but smaller. So with a set forget it, basically we have dedicated a bunch of time to like automating things. Now in the AI age, like we're big on automating, I'm big on systems. So especially with all those workflow tools out there, I'm a big proponent of you bring me your problem and I can solve it for you with automation. And this is one of my ways of doing it.
Are you doing these businesses alone, or do you have a separate team for each business?
It depends. Sometimes we make use of freelancers there as well, but they're basically my own brainchilds and things. If we get a campaign running for a stop and we have like a dedicated big client, then we like draw in a team of white hat hackers and basically pros that we can enable to create the campaigns, breach the companies, and do everything ourselves. And then it's basically like what do you call it, like account based. And whenever we get like an assignment based, then we like go all in.
I am a software developer, and in this case, stop.com will be interesting for me. Is this more about training, or is it a software which prevents phishing?
I reckon if there would be a software that prevents phishing, then there wouldn't be a need for phishing awareness training. That's the sneaky part about phishing. You can't prevent it because there's a human factor in all of those things. If you have a human reading this, and if a human is able to click on a link, and if a human is able to give away a password, then you can't put a software in between preventing this. All I need to do is reach the human. So if there's a software in between, I can reach the human via telephone. I can reach the human via SMS and do smishing. I can reach the human by placing a QR code anywhere on a wall. So there's no software. There is a bunch of software that claims preventing this for like an email channel, and per channel, probably you can, but we specialize on all the channels. So we get to your employees and we breach those employees by social engineering. So for you, like as a software engineer, there is no obviously there's software in between to create all the campaigns, to do the reporting, to basically prevent being flagged by spam lists, etc. We try to get around those as well. So like figuring DKM, IAMs, domains, whatever you need in there. That's quite a lot of software involved in there. But in the end, it's a human factor. And this is
Yeah,
what I
okay,
like
thank
about
you.
marketing as well. It's
Let's go
always
back
a
to
human factor. It's always a human factor in between.
yes.
And
Okay.
you need to like play within systems and then understand the humans.
Okay, thank you. Let's go back to social media again. So, how did you build this massive audience, and how often do you create content?
Yes. To be honest, I built it by accident. I wasn't planning on. And since it's not my forte, not my business, and not most of my passion, I don't put in a lot of time there as well. So what I did was create a few videos about things that were near and dear to my heart, which is smart home and automation. I try to like do this in all aspects of my life, and apparently people find it interesting. I did learn how to like create videos and website when I was in school, and I just applied those principles to like those little vertical videos. And by giving people an easy to follow video, by promising something that they get in the end and actually giving it to them and not faking something. And then by taking a subject that is interesting to a lot of people, which in my case is how can I improve my quality of life by doing this, or this. Apparently, this is a formula people tend to follow and which works. So I just went down the path there, and all I get is good feedback, and it works.
Thank you. Do you see any major shifts currently in social media, in marketing? And if yes, are you prepared
Yes.
for this? And what will be your advice for others?
You can never prepare. You can only react. And if you would have asked me this question over the past 14 years, it was always something different. It was TikTok up and coming in the past 2 years. It was Facebook 14 years ago. All of those things. And what I see currently is obviously it's AI. Obviously it's AI slop. Obviously is all the political climate around TikTok being taken over. It's the centralization of the internet, all of those things at the same time. And if I were on how to prepare for this, I would say you can't just react, just do whatever you believe is the right way. And me personally, I don't think AI is the right way, even though a lot of people jump onto it. It's a tool, it's not a solution. Also, I think be aware of the channels. If you do not control and own the channel, then you may be blocked out by it in the future, depending on whatever reason. But this is one of the reasons why email marketing is still being touted by people. Email marketing is one of the last channels where you do control the channel. There is no platform in between that can take away those contacts. If you have a bunch of followers on Instagram, for whatever reason, your account may get blocked tomorrow, you lose all of those. So just think in terms of things you can control, and don't rely too much on others. And also, if you use Google Drive for like your files, maybe still do a backup. Don't rely on Google to do those. I know they do them on tape, but they may fail. Just think of like you having your own self-contained business and do not rely on others. And if shit hits the fan, which does happen every time, I can promise at some point, then you're prepared. And this has helped us stay afloat for the past 14 years, whereas we've seen businesses come and go over time as well that have been similar to ours.
Okay, thank you. On your LinkedIn profile, you have written that you are also an investor, angel investor. What are your investments, and which other companies have you invested in?
Yes. So as I said, I'm not big into VC. I'm not a big fan of the investor scene in general. I think businesses are better off not taking money, and I will stand firm on this. But having a business for 14 years, the question arose organically. Basically, I had other friends come up to me and be like, hey, we're doing this and this kind of business. Or, hey, I'm doing this ecom business. Can you take a look? Or, hey, I'm in need of a mentor. Would you prefer to mentor me? So I started talking to a few businesses, and then I started telling them on how they could improve their online presence. And then basically I realized, hey, this is really fun. I love giving the answers to people having problems that I solved myself a few years ago. And if I would have had a person giving me the answer, I could have saved up on like a year of reading, probably. So me being this person for others and like accelerating their way, this is great. And also, I don't have to do operational work. I can just sit in a call, look at the numbers, tell them how to improve the numbers, and then they're off to do it. And next week, I get the rewarding feeling of, hey, this actually worked, without putting in the hours myself, as I did plenty of times over the past 14 years. So I get still the same dedication and feeling. And this is how it started. So it was mostly small ecom businesses coming up to me or me being interested in others. And then we started talking, and then this developed in this like month-long partnership and mentoring, where at some point they were like, well, we kind of want to keep you on, but we do not have any money to pay you. How can we do this? And this basically led me down a path of schemes. And apparently it's called business angel if you help them in an early stage. And apparently equity and stuff is the way to pay for people you cannot afford at the time. So this basically led to it. And I had a bunch of other small e-com shops, which is still my forte, like D2C single product e-com shops. It's what I've done for the past 14 years. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, that have been doing mostly different things. Like some have been doing skateboards, other have been doing like, I don't know, indoor sports equipment and all those kind of things. And yeah, I still dabble with those. I still have a few of those that I try to be invested and also try to be invested operationally. I hate giving money and then like leaning back. What I like is being like in there and helping them get the numbers up by basically giving them actionable insights.
Okay, thank you. So you have 4 different businesses, and you're also operationally active in other companies. How
And I'm
many
still on
hours?
vacation. How do I do it? Right? I know.
But but you are working on vacation, right? Okay, this has. I'm also always working on my vacation. This is normal for many people. But my question is, how many hours do you work on a day?
Yes, not as much as people expect, and then sometimes more than people expect. So really depends, and really depends what you want to call work. But two things have led to this, or like make me being able to do this. So the first thing, as I said before, is say enough at some point. We could do a lot more with companies like Hang. We could be bigger if we want to, but then we would also have a lot of more work. We try not to. So this basically cuts back a little bit of time that we don't need to invest somewhere else. And also the second big part, it's all about systems and automation. And when I say automation, it's not like I have an n8n server set up and everything is running in the background. This is a lie. Don't believe AI companies telling you that they can do this. Nobody in AI can take over your work for you. But by systems, basically, I mean, it's all those little repetitive things. So for example, if you still send a lot of emails back and forth to like set up appointments with business partners, get a Calendly link, send them the link, let them book it into your calendar. And this is the tiniest example of automation and things. If you get a bunch of emails you can't get through, take 2 hours and unsubscribe all of the newsletters. It'll save you so much time in the long run. All those little things basically lead to good systems and good habits and a lot more time during the day. Also, one of the most important things in all of the companies is a standard operation manual, basically a handbook for the company. Start doing it on the first day. Use whatever your preferred format is. Use a Google Doc, use a Notion database. I don't know, use ClickUp. I don't care. But from the first day on, everything you do, you take a little bit more time and then you write a little guide on how you did it because it'll happen again. And if you do not do it yourself, somebody else will do it and you have to explain it to them. If you wrote it down the first time, you send them a link to the article and then they can do it themselves. And then they can update the article accordingly and send it to the next person or use it. Or you use it in the next time when the person is sick. Anyway, create a working manual and read 2 books. Obviously, Atomic Habits. It's the little things in life. It's easy, but it works. And the second is the E-myth. I don't know by who. It's the entrepreneur myth. The systems that they are being laid bare in there are incredibly good, scale incredibly well. Read up on it, do it on the first day, and you probably have a bunch more time than you think you have.
Yeah, okay, thank you. If a young person asks for your advice and says, I am very motivated, but I don't have any money, I don't have any audience, I want to start a business. What should I do? What will be your answer, your advice?
Yeah, the most obvious answer is just start. You will never have everything you need. You will never have anything. Just start. If you don't think you can build a website, you can't build a website because you've never built a website. Sit down, and we live in a glorious time of having the entire knowledge of the world available at your fingertips. Literally, go to university if it's your way of learning. But just for the curriculum and the contents, they can be accessed digitally anywhere nowadays. So if you cannot do a website, sit down, open the search engine of your choice and type in there how to create a website. And then watch a video on it. If video is your preferred way of learning, read an article, hear an audiobook. I don't know, like cater to your needs and then build a website. Is it going to look shitty? Yes. Is the second website going to look better? Yes. And at some point you can do it all, but you have to start doing it when you can't do anything at all. So basically just start. You don't need money. Figure out what you need nowadays, then learn it and give yourself some credit and a bunch more time. Rome hasn't been built in a day. Stick with your business for a year. Stick with any idea for like a few years. stuff is going really slow and gradually. But if you're looking back after a few years, you will see it works. And this is the like atomic habits compounding effect. Like every 1% every day has a compounding effect on your knowledge as well. Don't just start. Put a goal and just start. And don't be sad if you don't reach your goal. Even if you fail your goals, but you didn't spend like a lot of money, this was a learning experience. You basically paid for a course. Now you can build a website and it only cost you like 200 euros. Great. Let's do the next thing.
Thank you for your time. I think we will come to the end, but the last, if you would pitch one of your businesses shortly, you have the time now. So
I wouldn't even want to use it. Like my businesses are running well. Do your own business. I want to motivate people. I feel like creating your own business is a really great way of liberating yourself
yeah.
and also have a fulfilled time and working on things and learning things which can only help you in the past. And if it doesn't work out, go get a job. Like you're not losing anything. Just start. Check out my business if you want. You can find the links probably down here. I don't care. But if you've been toying with an idea and you've been watching this video in preparation of starting something, stop the video now, sit down, start Googling.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Tobias. And if you don't want to start a business in a state, if you want to buy a business, then visit mavia.com. The link is in the description. Also,
Can be
the
a
link to
be
Tobias'
a good
homepage
shortcut
and
if
to
you
the
have money.
business. And thank you again. So.
Thank you, man.